Okay. I'm gonna try and say the name of this episode without stumbling. Here we go. Gotron Jerrysis Rickvangelion. Fuck. Well, okay, even though these episode titles have officially gone off the rails, this episode felt surprisingly grounded to me. You wouldn't think it would be, but it is. So, basically the plot of this episode, Rick's love of Voltron comes to a head when he finds the fifth and final Gotron bot he's been looking for. And we actually did have some hints early on that Rick was into these robots.
You can keep the apartment and the drones. You can't keep the drones. They turn into a little Voltron robot. They're awesome. You can't keep the drones.
So it's kind of cool that we're getting an episode that was already sort of hinted at in that season 3 episode. Now, right off the bat, the animation in this episode is really something special, and it's really the best that Rick and Morty has had in a long time. I mean, the show keeps getting better and better in terms of its visuals, but it was really the peak for me. I don't know, something about the lighting or the shadows, it was all just really cool, and it really felt giant in scale, which this episode needed to feel like to fit in this giant robot storyline. So if you've been keeping up with Rick and Morty for these past few weeks, you'll know that there is a bit of pushback online for Rick Dependent Spray. Now, I already reviewed this episode on my last video. I said that it was a little bit too much, and I think most of you and a lot of Rick and Morty fans out there agree. This episode was just too much even for Rick and Morty, They get weird, but that was out there for them. And it applies to this episode because in this episode, Incest Baby, even saying it out loud is just like, that baby comes back as a recurring character in this episode. And I really didn't mind it. It did have story relevance. There seems to be a small ongoing story involving Summer, the government, and this baby. That might be what this season is building to, but maybe not. Maybe they're going to build to something bigger, and this is just a smaller piece of that puzzle. So yeah, the return of the baby didn't bother me that much. I like how they handled Summer's character arc in this episode. It relates to the baby. It's realistic that her teenage mind lets things build, then she just releases it all in a sobbing fit, That seems like a Summer thing to do. This is very much a Summer-centric episode. So I really enjoyed the deeper character work they went into when they made this episode. You don't usually see this deep of character growth in a single episode. And on another note, they included other Ricks from other dimensions in this episode, and they don't do that a lot. They haven't done that for a while, I feel like. So seeing them really did keep this episode pretty engaging for me. It's a cool Voltron plot, like Rick's obsessed with the mecha combining of the anime. And watching an anime like Voltron, you can definitely get into it like that, and because of that. So it's cool that Rick lets his emotions drive this episode. Now as for the comedy here, Rick and Morty is praised for its comedy and its writing. It was a bit lighter in this episode, at least I felt like it. I feel like they exchanged some of the comedic moments for a more well-rounded story with a Summer character arc. And you know what? I really don't mind it. I never found myself thinking like, this episode's strangely unfunny. They had some jokes, and those were alright, but they let go of that a bit in favor of a bigger and better story. We get awesome fights and character growth in the same episode, which is unprecedented for the series, I think. So, overall, I liked this episode. It's not perfect, but it is a pretty good story. It's a pretty good Rick and Morty story. It's definitely better than the Thanksgiving one. Looking back on it, that one's pretty forgettable and just kind of weird. Although it's not quite as good as a Mortican Graffiti in my opinion, I will remember this episode for its cool animation, and that's not bad. It's one of the better episodes of the season so far, but not the best. I think you're picking up what I'm putting down here. So what do you think of the new character default outfits? And we also have new backgrounds. That's pretty cool. Okay, I spy a problem. We have new defaults and everything, But that leaves us without a new outfit to draw on our Instagram. A bit of an oversight, but I got an idea. Candles, can I try something? Yeah, sure. You know what? I like it. Okay, so that's all for this video. Comment below what kind of outfits my avatars should wear next. Today's full body outfit drawing will be on my Instagram. Follow me over there for more full body fashion. Also, subscribe for more Rick and Morty reviews in the future. I will continue to do them week by week, and when that's done, we're gonna hit the ground running with the What If series. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.